Hi, boys and girls. It's Miss Reynolds with B.O.R.E.D. Better Off Reading Every Day. Why is she sitting like that? Well, it's My Girl Thursday, and I thought we would get a little silly. My Girl Thursday, a little silly. You know, mommies do get silly sometimes. I know that's hard for you to believe, but mommies do get silly sometimes. And Bored with Miss Reynolds, Better Off Reading Every Day was always silly, but got sillier once she had a daughter, once she had My Girl. So we're going to get a little silly with you today, and the book is called Silly Sally, and it is by Audrey Wood. That's the first one. And we have Silly Sarah, and this is a Step 2 Reader Phonics book by Anne Jane Hayes, illustrated by Sylvie Wickstorm. That's that one. And we are going to do Silly Willy by Marianne Coca-Leffer. And that also is a picture reader book, all about reading. I think I like sitting sideways. It's very silly. So I'll try it, and then if it doesn't work, then I'll turn the other way around. All right. Silly Sally by Audrey Wood. Silly Sally went to town, walking backwards and upside down. On the way, she met a pig, a silly pig. They danced a jig. Silly Sally went to town, dancing backwards upside down. On the way, she met a dog, a silly dog. They played leapfrog. Silly Sally went to town, leaping backwards and upside down. On the way, she met a loon, a silly loon. They sang a tune. Silly Sally went to town, singing backwards upside down. On the way, she met a sheep, a silly sheep. They fell asleep. Now, how did Sally get to town, sleeping backwards upside down? Along came Nettie Buttercup, walking forwards right side up. He tickled the pig who danced the jig. He tickled the dog who played leapfrog. He tickled the loon who sang a tune. He tickled the sheep who fell asleep. He tickled Sally who woke up right. He tickled Nettie Buttercup. And that's how Sally got to town. Walking backwards and upside down. The end of that one, boys and girls. Silly Sally. Silly Sara, a level 2 step book. Silly Sara. Sara sat on a sofa. She sipped a smoothie. Oops, the smoothie spilled. Silly Sara. Sara sat in the tub. She licked a lollipop. Plop, the lollipop dropped. Silly Sara. Silly Sara sat on her hat. Silly Sara tripped on her cat. Silly Sara slipped on the mat. Silly Sara missed with a bat. Sara chewed gum. Sara chewed bubble gum. Yum. She blew a big bubble, then a big bubble, then a bigger bubble. Pop, Silly Sara. The door went slam. In came Sam. You have a funny face. Hey, wanna race? Sam and Sara scooted fast. Sara was first. Sam was last. Speedy Sara. Sam and Sara played hide and seek. Sara had to peek. Eek! Sara saw Sam. Sam and Sara sat on a seesaw. They licked ice cream. Sandy stepped on. Sara went up. Sara's ice cream fell down. I love a seesaw. It's one of my favorites. Slurp. Sandy found it on the ground. Sara had a hunch. It was time for lunch. Sara had jam. Sam had ham. Which Sara and Sam had a jam ham sandwich. Sam gobbled up his jam ham sandwich. I am Super Sam, he said. Now you have a funny face, said Sara. Don't be silly, Sara. Okay, she said. I am not silly, Sara. I am Super Sara. Super Sara. And we are all super pals. The end of Silly Sara, a phonics reader book. This is a reading with help, level 2 book, preschool to grade 1. Now, for Silly Willy, all aboard reading by Marianne Kokoleffer. Yes, boys and girls. Silly Willy. Get out of bed, Willie. It's time to get dressed. I can do it. My pants go on over my head. I can do it. My pants go on my head. No, silly Willy. You look like a rabbit. Your pants doesn't go on your head. My hat goes on my nose. No, silly Willy. You look like a duck. My shoes go on my hands. No, silly Willy, you look like a seal. My gloves go on my feet. No, silly Willy, you look like a frog. I am a rabbit, a duck, a seal, and a frog. You are very silly, Willy. Your pants do not go on your head. Your pants go on your feet. Your hat does not go on your nose. Your hat goes on your head. Your shoes does not go on your hands. Your shoes go on your feet. Your gloves do not go on your feet. Your gloves go on your hands. And here is a kiss for your nose. Now you are not silly Willy. But I am. And what are the words? Head, gloves, nose, hat, pants, feet. Seal, feet, duck, rabbit, shoes. Bed, frog, boy, book, tree, cake. There's some good words in this book. Bus, bicycle, swing, ball, truck, apple. The end, boys and girls, of Silly Willy. Now, boys and girls, I sat this way because it's not my normal way of sitting, and I was just being silly because it's My Girl Thursday, and I wanted to send my girl some love. Earlier, we read all about feelings. Feeling sad, feeling angry, feeling grumpy, all kinds of feelings. And then, lo and behold, we got silly. We sat here and we read about silliness. Do you feel silly sometimes? I hope you do, because what I've always said is, I want to put a little in your head, a lot of love in your heart, and I want to make you laugh a little. And with making you laugh, I gotta be a little silly sometimes. So, we usually do the board twirl on the floor, right? Why don't we try it on the chair? It's not going to work as good? All right, let's get our books up. Put our chair over there. And let us get our silly on. We got our silly books, and we are going to silly twirl. You ready? Feet together. There's always some music going in my head. I'm not sure what it is half the time, but there's always some music in there. So much so, I almost fall down. You ready? Twirl. Just one or two more. One. One. There it is. Another day in the bag with B.O.R.E.D. Better off reading every day. I don't own any of the rights to these stories that I'm reading to you, but I love storytelling magic. I love laughing. I love reading. I love dancing. And I love being with you. My pleasure, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. And I will see you again soon. Happy My Girl Thursday. I love you, my girl. Don't forget to be silly. Bye.